All right, everyone, welcome to January 23rd. Let's do a sector review to see where we're at today. So yesterday and today has just been some consolidation days after the big move on Friday. S&P still remains in an uptrend with the price above the 5-day moving average and on the weekly above the 5-week moving average, although it is a little bit stretched from there, but it could remain stretched for a couple of weeks as we've seen before. So yeah, S&P, no really red signs so far. Looking, the uptrend is still intact. QQQ, on the other hand, did hit this trend line resistance, and we talked about how this combined with a few other things like RSI could just pointing to maybe a short-term sell-off in QQQ, but obviously we will let the price dictate that and confirm that before we make any decisions according to that. But we can see that price has been a little sticky in this area, but so far not much of a confirmation because S&P is also kind of just sticking around and digesting this huge move from last Friday. We are on the weekly charts, and so price for QQQ still is above the 5-week, which is bullish, although we do have some gaps here. So if the price comes down, it could try to fill some of these gaps. And earnings are in play. So Netflix today, Tesla tomorrow, all eyes on that. So that could also dictate some direction and give some direction to this. And it's possible that S&P QQQ is just kind of holding off to see the results and will decide on a direction from there. Tech sector XLK, marked in yellow, still above the 5-week, but a bit extended. So marked in yellow to be a little bit cautious in there, but nothing really pointing to, the uptrend is still intact here. XLP, consumer staples, we are back in that red zone and an area where sellers could kind of take control at any point, but also could mean what we'd like to see is price kind of hover and stay above the 5-day, and it supports it through this mess and through the seller kind of controlled area, and a breakout out of this 76 area would be bullish for staples. SMH, also uptrend still intact, marked in yellow because it is a bit extended from the 5-week moving average. IWM, interestingly, was able to this week retake that. You can see this kind of wedge formation, and was able to retake so far this week that 5-week moving average. However, on the daily today, you can see kind of what happened on the daily here. We had this kind of huge up day with a gap up here. I think some people refer to this as also as a wedge pop. So it's a bullish sign. And today we had a sell-off, but the 5-day held. So that is again bullish for IWM. And I'm going to switch this to green because it looks like it wants to go a bit higher on the small caps. So in your scans, kind of start paying attention to more small caps here as well. MDY also holding strong above the 5-day and above the 5-week. So that is also something that is in green. XBI was a little bit different here. We tried to take back some of these and close some of these gaps, which we did actually. So these two gaps can now be removed out of the XBI chart. So we did close both of these, but price kind of got sold off today and kind of back to the close of yesterday. So we had a little bit of a gap up and then down to just about where we closed yesterday. Transport's actually looking pretty good. We are above all the moving averages here, so it is marked in green, an important sector that is developing. We are reaching this kind of resistance here, but I gotta fix this trend line also. It looks way off, but yeah, so transports might have some resistance coming up, but so far looking good after this turnaround here. And also notice that how this peak got taken up. Price is above that, and you can see RSI is also above that, so that is a good sign, a sign of support onto this up move in IYT. XLI Industrials also looking pretty good, and so marked in yellow. I can convert that into green now. Above the 5-day, and even today closed above the 5-day and holding above the 5-week so far this week. XLU not looking like the best sector, selling off here, marked in red. Healthcare kind of struggling here a bit, but it could also just be consolidation before the next move higher. So healthcare still looking okay. 5-week is still being held. If we look at the daily, some of these gaps were closed, so we can remove this as this gap was, there was a gap, I guess, on the hourly that we can't see. I'm gonna go back and check on that. But yeah, there was a gap there that that was filled today around the 507, or maybe that was yeah, I see. Where is it? That was Striker. That's one of the components of XLV. That's what I was looking at with the gap. But this probably was just marked as an area of interest because of the demand supply over here. That is, the buyers and sellers have fought in that area before. So that you can see how that was kind of, that came into play and pushed it above the 5-day and kept it above the 5-day. So uptrend still intact. You can see the 5-day pointing up. So nothing to do here for XLV, still bullish. XLF was interesting, and it is kind of above, gapped up above this 38 resistance and holding above that. And XLF is a major component of IWM as well. And so strength in here could also point to strength in IWM. So marked in yellow still because we're still close, very close to that 38. Just one day can push us back down. So still marked in yellow there, but that is a developing and a good sector. ITB we showed concern for yesterday in yesterday's video. Seemed like there was a breakout, but one of the major components, I think DHI had earnings today, and that stock is down 10%, pushing this back down. So this is a kind of a fake out and reversal. So not looking good on the home builder front, and we kind of led to that yesterday with the QQQ being at resistance, and ITB follows QQQ very closely. This could also point to that there is possible weakness that could ensue in QQQ as well. So that is a development from yesterday where it looked really good, and then really sold off today, down 5%. Consumer staple or consumer discretionary still holding here, getting tighter. However, nothing to kind of write home about. It is still below these two moving averages here, but at least it's not like selling off like crazy over here into this demand area. That could be waiting for one of the Tesla is one of the main, or one of the big components of XLY, so it could be holding up here to see what the earnings reaction is for Tesla. And that's going to be tomorrow. Microcaps trying to make that reversal, but so far closed below the 5-day. Sorry, not the 5-day, but the 20-day. So that once that resistance is taken off the chart, then we could look into possibly closing some of these gaps here for IWC. XLE showing a little bit of reversal over here from this area of interest that we'd marked before. But still the trend remains down in XLE. XME, again, there's some move up in some of these sectors we had marked before, but XME still not showing enough strength like some of these other areas that were pretty weak before, but now starting to show some strength. I've added some new sectors here to go through, but today the only one I'm adding here is TAN, which is the solar group, and this is very related. It relates a lot to the what the interest rates are doing, and so far this was one of the worst sectors for 2023, and so far it's in October started to rally a bit, but has not recovered from there, even though the rest of the market has. There was a sell-off early in the year, which was kind of quite brutal, down back to the lows, and has not been able to take that back. Okay, so I'm not going to go into single stocks today because there's not much movement other than the ITB sector. So DHI and stuff was one of the main sectors or ITV was one of the main sectors that moved today. So we're going to stick to the sector review for now, and we'll catch you guys tomorrow.